Leaders Learning from Leaders is pleased to welcome Dr. Cory Strasser to our podcast. Dr. Strasser is the Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services for Rapid City Area Schools in South Dakota. He is a veteran educational leader with 28 years of experience in K-12 education, serving in roles from the classroom to the principalship in both South Dakota and Minnesota. He has led numerous strategic initiatives to improve student achievement, expand learning opportunities, and strengthen school system. His work includes building innovative programs in career and technical education, developing alternative and behavioral support programs, and creating virtual learning options that expand access and flexibility for students. Welcome, Cory.
Thanks for having me here, Steve.
I'm wondering, for starters, could you just tell listeners a little bit about the Rapid City Area Schools community?
Yeah, so Rapid City is located in South Dakota. We're kind of an island in the prairie. If you think about it, if you've ever been here, we're famous for Mount Rushmore. But Rapid City Area Schools is the second largest school district in South Dakota. We serve roughly 12,000 students. We've got 22 school buildings across our district. And our community is really unique and rich. We've got a blend of urban, a blend of rural, and we've got a strong connection with tribal nations. And we have industries that kind of come together here: the ranching industry, forestry, tourism. So it really creates a nice, rich, and diverse community. All those aspects come together that present us a lot of opportunities to educate our students in a variety of ways. Our district is very focused on organizational excellence. We do that through a coherent strategic plan that focuses on five specific pillars: students, staff, community, communication, and facilities. So that provides the framework for how we look at everything and how we move forward in every area of our district. So we're really excited about how that's come together over the last couple of years and where that's taking us for creating great opportunities for our students.
Yeah, I can see where the mix of all those different players within the community uh, creates terrific opportunities to be tapped.
Yeah, there really is, because in a lot of school systems, you're kind of relegated to, well, you're this or you're that. Um, we really have opportunities to develop and give students much broader educational viewpoint and landscape,
Mhm.
and when they leave going through our system, there's just so many more opportunities from a occupational standpoint, and really how they can develop their careers in the Rapid City and Black Hills region.
Terrific. Um, your your a title of Assistant Superintendent for Educational Services. I'm wondering if you'd break down for us what falls under Educational Services.
Yeah, I'll try to summarize that. But educational services really, I work with our directors and our principals, but we focus on the instructional and student support systems that align directly with our strategic plan. So that is establishing a strong curricular focus throughout the district. For example, we really leaned into the science of reading and how that can improve our instruction in literacy. We've looked at creating quality assessments through evidence-based grading in several of our schools, so we're really focused in that area. We also look at career and technical education, how we can continue to develop strategic partnerships in our community. Um, One of the things that we also look at is uh, alternative programming and behavioral programming. So in the last 2 years, we brought in different opportunities for students. because we know that one size doesn't fit all. So we've greatly expanded our opportunities, not just at the high school, but this year we've implemented some new alternative programming at the middle level, and that includes expanding our um, virtual programming as well across the district. So we do a lot of the instructional and programming side, but my office also deals with student enrollment. So we have transfers within the district. When you have 22 schools, there's a lot of movement, as well as open enrollment in and out of the district. So we take care of that side. Another big function is the behavior support for principals. So my office works directly with principals and making sure that we provide equitable disciplinary um, actions and responses. So we're we're really in tune with the behavior side across our schools. And then finally, kind of the big one for me is how we develop our principals as leaders. And so we've taken a targeted leadership development approach that focuses on leaders within the PLC community. So too often we work with teachers in a PLC arena, but we don't do that as leaders ourselves. So we've worked hard on developing a PLC model where our principals can come together and be more collaborative in their work. We've also looked at different leadership skills. One of the big pieces that we focused on is the feedback cycle and feedback loops with our principals, from myself to our principals, and our principals then to their staff and their buildings. That's been a huge move for us and has allowed us to really listen and learn from all the people in our organization. And then the last part is really centered on how do we develop our principals through research and learning. And that's a big deal for us. We just started some very intentional, very high level thinking based on quality research that we know not just from great American schools, but schools from around the world. So all of that is part of my office, and it's all really tied back to how we connect with our strategic plan and ensure that the stuff that we do each day is really carried out well and has the outcomes that we hope as a district.
Yeah. Uh, a lot of areas. Uh, you, you, you must have quite a team that you pull together to accomplish that.
It we're not a huge team here
Yeah.
in the central office, but we really I think have established just a really good way of communicating with principals, bringing them in when we need to have those conversations together that can really move us forward in quality ways. And breaking down communication is a real thing in our district. So we work really hard at that. Uh, and that's where I kind of go back to our feedback cycles. I'm constantly trying to listen to our principals uh, and see what they can tell me, but also trying to provide support and guidance to them.
Uh, as I was doing my prep for the call, I found a statement that you had made about the principalship, and you know you've clearly established already all the different things you're doing, but your statement is vital for the success of a school and a district, but more important for the success of students. You want to talk a little bit about the why that you see the principalship in that critical role?
You know, my thinking on that really goes back to I was a principal for 17 years before moving into this role, and in knowing what a principal goes through on a day-to-day basis, knowing how they can impact instruction, how they can uh, move the programming. I think those are essential, and then they do it in a way that can build trust both with their staff and with the community. So the principal is kind of that front facing uh, person for each school, and and really they become that cornerstone for the school and for district success. Um, I believe principals set the tone for their culture. They set the tone for what instruction and that level of quality looks like. Uh, and again, kind of going back to they establish trust, and that's a huge thing. So when I say that, they're vital for the success of school, those are a lot of different areas that they are continually impacting day to day, more so than what we do at the district level. Um, so that's why I think, that's why I believe that principals are essential to the success of our schools. And it's why when I talk about um, how we need to uplift and develop leaders and continually refine their skills, I believe that that is how schools improve. And then ultimately, when they're really good, students are the beneficiaries. Um, so, and again, I think it all connects to why are we here? What is our ultimate purpose? And if our purpose as a district, from everything we say as leaders to our from our strategic plan on down, is to benefit student learning. In my opinion, the best way to do that is to have high quality leaders, and that's the role of the principal.
I'm kind of hearing that the principalship requires an ongoing learning. It sounds like it's not the kind of thing you can go prepare for and step into it. I'm hearing your expectation that your principals are continuous learners, maybe lead learners.
Very, very true. We use a little mantra that I've seen over the years, and it's learning leaders leading learning organizations. That is the primary function of our school system, is to be learners, and we need to be that at every level, and we need to live that out if we expect that of our students, and for them to see what it means to learn, and in whatever context, we're always learning, and so that's what we're guiding. That's what we're working towards, and it's no different for the principal. There's so much that they do on a daily basis, and that they're expected to carry out, um, but learning certain skills along the way obviously makes them better. It's just like what we expect out of teachers. We're continually working with teachers to be better and develop their skill set. So we're not going to move away from that philosophy. We really believe that they are learning leaders leading learning organizations.
So that really ties into the concept of the PLC for principals.
It does, because when, for example, when you have 5 middle schools, how do you bring principals together to really um, learn from each other and to know what this school is doing versus what that school is doing? And if we're having success over here, but not over here, how do we break that down? And um, just not just having conversation about it, but also looking at, well, what is my data telling me? How are we able to, um, structure the day? What kind of implementation or culture did we need in order to make a certain change? So we're really looking at that, and we can do that better through the PLC model, and it's hard because we're expecting principals to take time out of their day to do this,
Right.
and to meet, but that is also an expectation of our teachers. So it lines up really well with
Yeah.
our thinking of being learning leaders. And and again, it's a way to communicate and grow the really good things that we're doing across the district.
I'm wondering if you'd have any words of advice for principals who are considering looking at moving to a central office role and maybe on to a superintendency.
Yeah, I think I would encourage anybody who has a desire to continue impacting the organization. Um, I think about um, there's different ways to impact every organization, and and the impact you're currently having versus what you could have. They're all different, but they're all valuable. So for this role in particular, I think you really have to think broader than yourself and broader than your school. So typically, when you're a principal or a building level administrator, you have what's right in front of you, and that's what you're working towards. Um, you can continue to do that, but you also now need to look broader, and that's more the systems thinking. How would that role, and how do I need to think about that to impact beyond what's in front of me right now? And that is probably the biggest thing. It's kind of a combination of strategic thinking and systems thinking in order to broaden the work that you do, and that's a very valuable uh, line of thinking when you're wanting to move to another level, because every level the systems become more, and that's a real challenge, but it's super awesome. Just thinking back on my experience, I went from a much smaller district to this district, where I was in a district of 1,100 students, and now in a district of 12,000, and in an assistant superintendent role. So there was a huge learning curve, and really thinking broader. But it's also super exciting, and while it's challenging day to day, it's a lot of fun to work with so many people um, across the district and trying to really impact uh, the organizational excellence line of thinking, how to carry that to every building so that we can move students to be to have a great experience and to be really good as they go through and have opportunities. So I definitely encourage aspiring uh, superintendents to really think about, figure out what do I need to do to get there, but then think broader and really look at that systems line of thinking and perspective, so that, yeah, I want to shape a whole district versus this part of the district. So
I'm wondering if central office superintendents, assistant superintendents in a district your size um, have a responsibility to be looking at how to create opportunities for people in the principalship to be looking at and thinking about those central office roles and the kind of learning or skill development it might take to get there.
I think through a lot of the things that we've kind of laid out from developing a principal, there's a lot of transferable skills,
Mm.
and that's where you really should start. Is what are the things that I know that I'm really good at, and how does that uh, fit the role of a superintendent or assistant superintendent or a director of teaching and learning. So whatever central office position, what's my current skill set, and then really, what do I need to expand? How do I know what I need to expand? And those communications, hopefully, we're having with our principals and other leaders in our district who do want to advance and impact the district differently. Uh, that's something that I think the way we've organized our district we're in a good place to have those conversations and support those who want to consider moving into a different role.
Well, Cory, before we close out, what's the easiest way for people who've heard the podcast and have a question or a thought they'd like to share with you to be able to touch base with you?
The best way is to just shoot me an email, and my email is cory.strasser@k12.sd.us. Um, Shoot me an email, and I'd be happy to give you a call or engage in a conversation and just talk about uh, whatever's burning in education, or if you're interested in learning more about what we're doing here. I'm pretty sure I'd be interested in what you're doing in your district, because we're continually trying to be better. So
Well, I can tell you right up front that I'm likely to be recommending a few folks to call you.
oh
Uh, 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 the PLC with principals, I think, is a really valuable piece. And my finding across the board is people not having a lot of success making that happen. And so people to hear what you're doing and why you're doing it and getting it to work, I think it would be real valuable.
yeah, it's as I've said, it's been a work in progress, but we're really intentionally leaning into it, and I think it's a great way to develop leaders and improve your school.
You bet.
So I'd be happy
You
to
bet.
have any conversations move forward.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Steve.